Hello and welcome to Trojans Live, presented by Monster Energy on AM 790 KBC and across the USC Trojans Media Network. I am Jordan Moore alongside the All-American Sean Cody, our quarterback Max Brown, and we are joined at the top of the show by the new head coach for USC men's golf. His name is Mark Hankins. USC's head coach interview is presented by iTrust Capital, the official crypto platform of the USC Trojans. You're not that new anymore. You're making your way through your first season here, Coach, but you're new to us, so welcome to Trojans Live. You are a guy that's been at many stops. You've been very successful at many different stops. So what brought you out here to the West in USC?
Yeah, thanks, Jordan. I think one of the things that it's always been, I played professional golf out here when I was done with my career. Spent a couple years living, anywhere from Los Angeles down to San Diego, playing and understanding kind of the value of great golf courses, great weather. And I've coached against it my whole life. I've been at a bunch of Midwestern schools, great places. We had great success, but we're always fighting in the recruiting battle that, hey, you guys have snow, or hey, why do you have to be indoors all the time and hit into a simulator? Well, part of that is good for them, but also we did suffer in ranking. We did suffer early in the year, and this has always kind of been a destination school for golf, and I'm very pleased to be here.
Coach, kind of take us through the first year here. We're wrapping up with the Pac-12's end of the month. Obviously some building to do, but kind of run us down.
Yeah, thanks, Sean. One of the things that we tried to do right away was just kind of assess the current team. We did a ton of qualifying inter-squad. And then, we basically had our schedule already mapped out for us. So just tried to get, going, figuring out what we had. And I think, throughout the year, we've got some guys we've got 3 seniors on this team right now. They're putting in a lot of work. Most of these kids want to play professional golf when they get done. It's no different than any other sport. And so you want those seniors to lead by example. And, they've done that. We've got some new guys that I kind of brought along. Antonio Safa from Mexico. He came from the University of Missouri. And then Nico Dominguez was also from Mexico, came along as a recruit of mine at Missouri. So all in total, these guys have really kind of put in a lot of work. We've played some really good events. We've played some not so good events. And getting used to the golf courses, the one thing that I want to do is make sure that our schedule fits us the best that I know how to do. Make sure that we're competitive in every event, at least by next year. And then also learn about our local courses and stuff. I think we were talking before, we have to know what we're going to do to train these guys. I'm not just a go recruit guy and go play. We teach golf, we teach short game, we teach long game, we teach mental game, and we've got to have places that we are really comfortable with. And we have, we're very fortunate to have the Riviera Country Club, Rolling Hills, Trump, to name a few. And we're very proud to have those, but we got to make sure that we know how to fit those into a weekly schedule to get the best out of these guys.
Yeah, you mentioned all those different areas that you have to approach as a golf coach, and it feels like golf's unlike any other sport. I guess football, there's so much scheme, so much X's and O's. With golf, it feels like there's a lot more psychology, and psychology certainly plays for all the sports, but it's almost like what you don't say is just as important as what you do say in golf. How do you navigate that, especially like when I'm watching the PGA Tour, guys got putting coach, swing coach, mental coach, got their dad on the bag. Like it's a difficult landscape to navigate, I would imagine, as a head coach. How do you approach that?
Yeah, spend as much time as I can with my guys. That is absolutely my number one plan for success, is dedicate my life to making sure that they're great. Each one of these guys is elite. We wouldn't recruit them here to USC if they weren't elite, either the best player in their state, the best player in their country. And we bring them here, and their parents are like, hey, don't screw them up. We got them here to the top, but we're also going against other elite programs. And so, spending every day with these guys and making sure that they understand that I'm trying to help them learn about their own golf swings. You're right. Some of them do have their own swing coaches. Some of them do have their own mental coaches, things like that. We're trying to bring that all together, make sure that we understand them as a person, because I'm with them on the golf course the entire time. Every day at practice, me and my assistant are out doing our thing. We feel like our job is in preparation mainly. At the tournament, we try to say less, just like you said, Mike. We try to do less. I was the coach that would sit at the 9th hole at a couple of and just high-five guys and say, hey, you want something to drink? No, okay, go win the golf tournament. And they would. Yep. So we're not there yet, but one of the things I want my players to know is I trust them. and I expect them to make good decisions based on their round plus their teammates. So I think once they understand that, they're free to go out and play regular golf, and we want to put all of our effort into preparation and then kind of pull back at competition.
You're listening to USC men's golf head coach Mark Hankins on Trojans Live. Coach, I have watched a lot of golf over the last 3 or 4 days. I imagine you watched plenty as well, as much as you could. I'm curious, you sitting there watching it, I'm sure is different than me. Are you looking for teaching points, or what stands out to you when you sit and digest the greatest golfers in the world in the greatest tournament?
One, the first thing that comes to mind is how amazing Augusta is at creating drama. Eagles, doubles, birdies, water, all the things that can happen in a golf tournament happen in like 7 or 8 holes right there. And how each one of these players kind of reacts. I mean, there was plenty of text going on from me. We brought it up earlier, the Scheffler thing. Literally nobody in his box. Like, he is not reacting. He's hitting great shots, sticking his golf club back in his bag, saying, no, I ain't getting out of this until it's done. And kind of the new Tiger, right? He's on the prowl until it's all done, and then he'll smile. And he did. You notice him just kind of react at the end. It's like, that's how college golfers, we want them to act too. And, it's a little bit drab and mundane, and not every kid's going to look like that. But there's a lesson there, because even the best player in the world had to concentrate at 100% to make sure that he didn't lose that tournament.
Coach, we're watching this professional tournament, and golf is known for being an individual sport. You're out there. Yet in college, you got to play that team game. How do you dance that fine dance of, this is obviously you're trying to take care of these guys, get them to the right approach, but hey, we want to win too, so let's make this a team thing.
Yeah, I think the motivation piece, I think it creates pressure on them a little bit. So we do try to treat each kid separately, but at the same time, we do individual meetings as well as team meetings after each round. But a lot of that is motivation for them. They want to play well for their teammates. They want to play well for USC. They want to play well for their coaches. And so we have to kind of manage the expectation, the pressure that brings, because a lot of times kids will just dominate in practice, right? We've had some numbers in practice this year and some really good stuff. And then we get to a tournament and we're maybe a little tight and we don't quite put it down out there like we should. So every tournament's a learning experience, right? We do the stats afterwards. We talk about it. We try to be consistent. All I can do is continue to prepare them, be consistent, hope that they take some of those lessons, learn, and don't make the same mistakes twice. I think that's the biggest part.
Coach, every so often you'll see something on the football side of things about how participation at the youth level is down, and it's harder to find Sean Cody's as a result, especially on the West Coast, like bigger offensive and defensive linemen. Golf's the exact opposite. Participation's up, at least from everything that I read. How has that changed over your career in terms of the type of high school kid that you're recruiting, whether he's more athletic, more advanced, or just big picture, how the game's changed from the high school level as they enter the collegiate level? Yeah,
it's a world game now, and especially in the tennises, the golfs. These kids are getting trained by their national junior teams. So if you get a kid from Sweden, Ludwig, this week, I mean, that guy is 24, first major. Thought he was going to win, right? Everybody kind of started thinking that guy was going to win because he's won so many times in college. We watched it 100 times. But the bottom line is they're getting trained from the age of 10. And so these international kids come in really well trained, really motivated. And we still have a lot of talent in California, Texas, Florida. Are they the same level of commitment? Maybe, maybe not. But there is a lot more talent now, and there's a lot more learning. And they have TrackMan, right? So they have real data that shows it's not whose swing looks this way or that way. It's like, what's the data tell you at impact? That's the way the ball is going to curve, so these kids can learn on a higher level. And I just think golf is cooler now. It just is, man. I mean, you got football players watching golf, right? So that's once made it a more popular sport.
Jordan, I'm starting a little late on my professional career, it sounds like, in golf.
But to his point, all you guys are playing. Sua Cravens isn't here. We were joking. Sua's, dedicated his time to golf. Max plays a lot. You said you were playing this week. It is very cool. COVID, in a way, kind of helped. It didn't help much out there, but people loved golf, and it really helped and boosted the sport there. Coach, last one. You're a Big Ten guy. You were at 3 different stops in the Big Ten: Nebraska, Iowa, Michigan State. That's what I got you for. You're going back to the Big Ten now. Give us the scouting report on Big Ten golf. What does that look like for us?
Again, just talent across the board in every big school now, and I think that's in every sport. We're not going to have to play some. Everyone's kind of thinking, oh, you're going to go play in these northern places. Not really. We have a Big Ten championship at the end of the year, so I get to create our schedule like I want to be ranked, to be a top 25 schedule, to get these kids. Fortunately, unfortunately, these kids want their WAGR, right? They want their world amateur golf ranking. So the better college tournaments we plan, the easier it is to me recruit the number one kid in the country, because he wants to come play in big-time college golf tournaments here at USC. So the Big Ten has some of those great players. They kind of manipulate their schedules to be a little bit more fall-centric. They play in the fall a little bit more than the spring. We tend to be a little bit more spring-centric because we can start playing in January. I know all those coaches real well. It's going to be fun. It was so funny. We had the Big Ten, the first meeting, and I sat in on that call, and I know everybody on the call. And it's going to be fun, and we're working really hard to possibly get a Big Ten championship out here on the West Coast for golf. And I can't say anything about that right now, but we feel really strongly that would give us a little advantage, and we want to bring those guys out here.
Yeah, USC's the new guy in school at the Big Ten, but maybe not you, Coach. It sounds like you've been around the block, certainly in that league. It's great to have you out here at USC and building this program. The Pac-12 championships, as Sean mentioned, they start April 26th, so keep an eye on Coach Hankins and his squad. Hey,